Good evening everyone, and a warm welcome to Mystery Monday, live here on Facebook, and thank you if you're catching the replay here or on YouTube. My name is Lucia Visentin and I am an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in Melbourne, Australia. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. As you do hop on, would love to know who's about and to say hello. Just let me make sure my volume is down, which it is. I hope everyone has had a lovely weekend. The weeks kind of seem like, it just seems like it's all weekend at the moment because John's on holidays, because he's home all the time. There's no difference between the weekend and the week at the moment. Trying to think what we did do on the weekend. We've just been doing lots and lots of things around the house, so just getting things organised and getting under the house sorted as well, since we had all of that redone. So I hope your weekend was lovely. Tonight I am going to do a fun fold card, something I've never done before. I know there have been quite a few around and being shown, so probably some of you have already seen this. Hi Glenda, how are you? Hope you're well. And I'm going to use the Floral Charm Suite, which I have used a little bit. I did get some new product today, but I wasn't home today, so I couldn't get it organised for tonight, sorry. So next week there'll be some new stuff. And also I won't be on Thursday either, as I have family coming over from Tassie on Wednesday. So no Thursday tips and tricks, I'm sorry, this week. So we might just turn around and get started, I think. So let us go. Sorry, this will get bigger all of a sudden now. Oh, doesn't want to get bigger now. Here we go. Sorry, I've just got the washing machine that's just finished, so you might hear it. Beeping. I am thinking. Hi Jackie, how are you? So tonight I am using this particular paper here from the Floral Charm Suite, and I feel like I can move my phone over a bit, sorry. How's that? Sorry, it was a bit bumpy, I know, but that's better. Hi Natalie and hi Renee, how are you both? So that's the paper I'm using, and I'm going to pair it with a Pretty Peacock and cloud cover, which I don't have a piece of, but I have it in the card bits that I'm making. So I'm just going to get rid of my mouse and that, and I will bring everything in here that I have. So let us have a look. So like I said, trifold tonight. I have gone ahead and cut a whole heap of things out because there are lots of bits to this. So first up we have our cardstock, which will be our card base, which is in the Pretty Peacock. Oh, that sounds like fun, working on baptism cards. So I've used the length of our A4 paper, which is 29.7, and I've cut a 9cm strip, and I have scored it at 9.9 from each end, and then folded it up in a zigzag. Okay, so we've got that kind of thing happening. Alrighty. Good evening, Anne. So then to decorate the base of that, I have cut out the designer series paper, which is 9.4 by 8.5, and I have done that 6 times. And then I'm going to mount that on some white, which is 9.6 by 8.7, and again cut that out 6 times. So that is going to go on all of our pieces there. But then the other thing I've done for the top of our card is I have cut out some of the everyday arches. So this one here is the 5th down from the largest, and I've cut 6 of those. And this one here is the 4th down. So there's just one size difference between the two of them. And again, cut 6 of those. And these are the second smallest, and I've just cut out a few other little bits and pieces that we might use. So we might just start off with actually popping this part of our card together. So I am going to stick, and I probably should have done a little bit of this beforehand too. Excuse me. But we will just stick all of these bits down. And I'm thinking that my glue may run out tonight at some stage, but that's okay. We have plenty more of those. Does anyone else carry a stash of things like that? I always have extra glues, I have extra everything, I think, just in case, because you never know. So there will be a little bit of stamping and a little bit of decorating as well. I have done a little bit of die cutting ahead of time also. Now with these, when you're sticking them together, be careful that you stick them the right way around, because they're almost square, but not quite. So it's easy enough to sometimes get them a bit muddled up. So I just make sure I have them both the same way here as I'm sticking them together. Is the easiest way. Well, the easiest way for me at least. And I have only done they're only 2 millimeters larger, the mount. So I've only just got that 1 millimeter of white showing all the way around as well. Thousands of pens, yeah, that probably is similar actually, because that's kind of what you use all the time. I probably have thousands of pens as well, but mine are more markers and blends and all sorts of things. But yes, we are never lacking for pens in our house, that's for sure. Except for I still have a son that goes out and buys pens that he particularly likes to use because they write better for him, he reckons. Not late at all, Kim. I have only just started. You've missed some measurements is all, but if you go back on the replay, they'll all be there. So yes, we're just sticking all our little bits down to decorate our trifold card. So like I said, I didn't really think of doing all of this before. I've been out today, so mine wasn't on the job today. So once we've got all of those stuck down, then we can actually adhere them to our card base as well. The card base size was 29.7, which is the length of our A4 cardstock, by 9 centimetres, Jackie. And then I scored it at 9.9 from each end. And that gives you your folds on it as well. Good evening, Jenny. How are you? I hope you're well. We haven't, we really do need to catch up. It has been way too long. So sorry, I'm probably right at the bottom of my my screen here. And I might just make sure that I'm not putting ones that are the same on, because that one's actually very similar to that first one. Good evening, Glenda. How are you? So this is all just a little bit repetitive for now, but like I said, once we've got our base done, then we can start on the fun bit of decorating. I went out today to meet a friend for lunch. Hello, Rochelle. And the place that I went to go to were closed for the day for maintenance. Just went, oh, that would be right, wouldn't it? The one time. Not that it was all bad, because we did go to Brunetti's, so that was nice. If you're not from Melbourne, Brunetti's is a really lovely Italian cafe. And we went to the one in the city, in Lygon Street, which is very Italian. Good evening, Joan. Here we go. It's going to start conking out on me. So did anyone do much crafting over the weekend? I know someone who's on has been. I know Jackie's been crafting away. Oh, thank you very much, Rochelle. A very, very old bracelet, this one. I think I bought it many, many years ago at the St Kilda market. Okay. So that's our last base. So card still folds nicely. Oh, I thought that was glue on there. All right. So then what I'm going to do is these pieces. Oh, Brunetti's is always good. I did have to have some dessert and a coffee after lunch, because you just have to when you're there. And I did have a sfogliatella. Sfogliatella, not sure how it ends. Now those are going to sit there. Now, that's something I didn't check. I just want to be sure that it's still, and it'll still fit in an envelope. I just didn't want it not to, because I know the width of that is fine to fit in the envelope. I just didn't want the height to be any higher, and we are actually fine. So that's not a problem. So what we're going to have is all of this side will kind of be the front of our card. And then when we turn it over, I'm going to make that the back. So I'm going to use the back as where we will write on and pop our sentiment and everything. Not our sentiment, the writing that you're going to put in it. But on the front, I will put our sentiment and make that a little bit more ornate, I suppose. So what I have done is I've got a load of things in here. So I have actually fussy cut some of the designer series paper. Oh, how's that? We've actually matched that up. I should have made sure that matched up too. That was a bit flaky. These little bits here are actually left over from the card I made the other night. So I thought, because the colour's in there, we could introduce those. Like I said, I've only got the leaves here, and then we've got some white and some Pretty Peacock leaves as well. So what I thought I would introduce is the elements of text, and we might use just some of the script and possibly even some of the splotches from here as well. Sfogliatella, singular. In the centre, I'm going to pop "You Are Fantastic," and I will put "Happy Birthday" on the front. Okay. Yeah, matching from my sewing day. See, look, if I was quilting, that'd be perfect, wouldn't it? And the "Happy Birthday" I'm going to use is from the Charming Day bundle or suite. So this one here is in a bundle with the Everyday Arches as well. So that one you can get singular or together. So if you get the dies and the stamp set together, it's $79 for that one. And then the elements of text are an online exclusive, and they are $46 for the stamps. So let us do a little bit of stamping. So I'm going to do the front three first. And I think the one that sits in the middle there is the one that I would like to pop my sentiment on. So it's kind of front and center. And like I said, that sentiment that I'm stamping is "You are simply fantastic." So I've got someone in mind for this card as well. It's always nice to have someone in mind when you're making a card. Elements of text are beautiful, aren't they, Kim? It kind of, you can use it with almost anything. So I do have my piercing mat under me. I'll just make sure that's all inked up properly. Now, when I have put this stamp on my block, I have manipulated it a little bit, just so it actually sat round, because it's actually a little bit bigger. And I will show you. I will just quickly clean the stamp, and then I'll pop it on and I'll show you that it was a little bit bigger than I needed. So I've just scooched it in a little bit when I've popped it on my block. So if we take that off, just in case I haven't cleaned that properly, can you see how it actually sticks out the end a little bit? When I've popped it on the block, I've actually just manipulated it a little bit, so it did actually fit nicely. So that's a really good thing with these photopolymer stamps. You can actually make them do what you would like them to do as well. So on top of that, I'm going to use some Lost Lagoon. And now I am just using some cling stamps so we can get rid of that. And I am going to use this large script. But I think I'm also going to stamp off, because I don't think I want it quite that dark. And we might just go sort of this side, stamp it off again, and a little bit on that side. And then, like I said, I had some little splotchy bits. Actually, I might go the other one. It's got quite large, well, they both have quite large splotchy bits on them. But let's go that way. And then we'll go this other one down here. How's that? So like I said, this one is going to sit, let me bring that down, in the centre. Oh, hello Lisa. Lisa is who I met up with today. Thank you for a lovely day today, Lisa. That was wonderful. I did enjoy it. So that will sit there. And what I'm thinking, even though we've got the writing there, we could just put, I won't put the whole of the leaf, but we might just glue a little bit of that leaf at the bottom as well. Absolutely. With John, with the photopolymer stamps, you can. So if things are not in the right spot, you can definitely move them for sure. So do you know what? Let's just continue along stamping and seeing what we're going to come up with. And where did I just put my scrap paper? And you don't have to stamp in the same spot all the time either. Trying to get it as straight as I can. Now sometimes that's not easy either. I'm trying to get my rows to line up, but like I said, if they do, they do. If they don't, I'm not too fussed. No one's going to read it or look that closely. Oh, hello Michelle, how are you? Hope you're doing well. And that kind of thing. There you go. I think that's all I'll do with that one. Hi Angela, how are you? Lovely to see you. Okay, I'll pop that away. Oh no, still need this. I think I just stuck my, no, I thought I stuck my finger in that, which would be, you know, pretty likely thing to do. So again, I'm just stamping off because I don't want it to be too dark. But I do want just a little bit more texture over it. We might just do a little bit down there, even though that's a bit lighter. So what we can also do is I would have a Lost Lagoon blend here, and we might just do a little bit of spritzing on those. So I'm just going to use my brush tip. They are gorgeous roses on this, Angela. I do love them, and the colour on this is quite unusual too. We are all well, thank you, Michelle, on holidays here. So doing beautifully, really. We do like holidays in this house. So sorry, just going to quickly give all those stamps a bit of a wipe. I don't like to leave them too long. So let's get rid of that because we don't need that anymore. Like I said, that one's going to go in the middle. These ones are going to go on either side, and they will have that behind them. So what I've also done already, because like I said, I knew everything was going to take a little bit of time, I have got a happy birthday, and I have stamped that in white on the Pretty Peacock and embossed it. And then we've got all of these little pieces here. So I've got lots of little bits. So we can kind of build on things now. And even that one we could just use just a little bit of this one on the front. So I am going to cut a few things up now as well. I'm just going to cut it here. So then if I want to use that bottom piece, it doesn't look like it's been too doctored up too much. And I might still just pop. So some of these flowers are bits I've cut, as you can see, off the corners of the paper as well, which I think still looks fine there. And again, we might go, we might even just go the 2 leaves on this one. Right, something a bit smaller would be better. And I've got these, so I could kind of pop this behind, I'm thinking. So this is a good way to use up little bits of scraps. Not scraps, pieces that you haven't used for other things. And I could cut the little bottom off that a bit as well. Could we have that coming the other way? Perhaps. These ones actually look like they're different leaves. Alrighty. So if we do that kind of thing, and then this one is sort of on its own. There's nothing. We might put a little bit of ribbon on this one too. And probably a bit more of that colour. And because that's coming from that side, the leaves are coming from that side, if we just put a little something there, that will tie it in a bit more. Do you know what? We might leave these ones for the back. Now that I'm just thinking out loud now. And I've got loads of other things here cut out as well. So we might pop him there. We might pop some leaves coming out from the bottom of this one down that way. And some flowers on this one. I think that one's probably better on there. It's a little bit smaller. We could probably even just tuck him up under there a little bit more, just so there's a little bit of something in there. How about we do that? We could kind of do the same with this one, perhaps. Let's leave it at that. I'm going to keep on, I could keep on going, because we still have the back to do as well. The other thing I had was, sorry, I'm still... You might even put that in there. Still popped in, and that's a bit more of a focal point then, because we've got the Pretty Peacock there. I've got nothing on this end one either. How about we do use those there, and then these little guys will stick out a little bit more as well. Alrighty, okay, so let's start actually popping these together. So we might start off with just sticking these down first. Now I do have some ribbon as well. The ribbon I've got is the cloud cover. Or the other thing we could use on here is the twine would be nice too, because it would bring in that natural colour. The cloud cover's nice, but it is quite a stiff ribbon, so I will show you that. So we might just pop these down with some glue. Thank you, Rochelle. It's a little bit different for me because it's kind of going a little bit collage-y, which I don't usually do. But just because you don't usually, it doesn't mean that you can't. Yeah, we might just pop him up under there actually. So I'm not going to put anything on dimensionals on in this because we do want it to close up. And I feel if we put too much on top of it, there's probably already sufficient there anyway. If we put any more, I don't think it will all close. So if we do that, and then our sentiment there, okay, that looks good. I might grab some glue dots. Hello Helen, how are you this evening? Thank you, Jackie. A little lucky, I did actually get all this organised, well, cut out at least last night. So I had all my bits cut out. I just didn't really know how it was all going to come together. But you know what, that's sometimes a good way to start a card, is just as long as you've got some things that you can use, and then pop them all down. I am going to put another glue dot because I feel that that's going to wobble a bit. So what I'm going to do with this glue dot is just roll it up a little bit, so then I can pop it behind the stem. There you go. I'll do the same with this little bit. I am usually a less is more, you're right. But I did, I think because I had all the pieces here already, I did want to use some of them up. I don't mind the little stems hanging down there as well. I think I might put the sentiment on dimensionals though, because that is going to be the front of the card. So it doesn't really matter about the front if it is built up a little bit more. And this one I have got a bit of a bigger border around it as well, ever so slightly. So let us have a look at, I did this before, I had the ribbon sitting right in front of me and I couldn't find it, which is always the way. So this is the ribbon, like the colour is gorgeous, but I did find that when I tied it, it is quite a stiff ribbon. I could do what I've done before and cut it in thirds, or we could just go with it. Oh, that way's better. We could just go with it and pop it on the side there, but we could put that on later too. So let's just think about that, because that is something that can be added on later. And we'll put everything else on and we'll just see if it looks like it needs it. Might be the way to go. Because like John was saying, less is more, and we don't want to overdo it, but we do want to make it look pretty though too. So I might bring that all the way over to the side there. So it's a little off centre. And that's fine. So that's our first one. Second one, we'll pop this little bit on first. So how do other people go when they design cards? Do you actually have a sketch in mind or a layout in mind, or do you just kind of go with the flow? Because I like to start with a suite, perhaps, is a good way to go. So I sort of know what I'm using. And then if I'm using a designer series paper, the designer series paper is great because it kind of picks out the colours for you. So then there's a little bit less thinking involved because you've already got that, not predetermined, but it's already been, it's a big help when you know what you're going to use there already. It's a no-go for John. Okay. Like I said, there is linen thread as well. So we just pop that, and I'm just popping it on the edge of the stitching. Get my little rubber onto that. There's a little bit of oozy glue there, but we can sort that out. And pop that way. And having that little bit of the Pretty Peacock behind it then brings out the white nicely too. Actually, that was a good idea, having that. Like I said, I just went ahead and just cut a whole lot of bits and pieces out. And this is one card that I've not pre-made, and usually, if anyone knows me, I have always pre-made my cards, so I know exactly what I'm doing. I don't know whether I'm just getting more confident or just more flippant and just doing my own thing a bit more. Oh, that's a good idea, having a focal image as well, Rochelle, just to start off with. Okay, we'll pop him there. That one next. And glue dots are great here because if you've got glue dots, you're not, nothing's oozing. You know what, I'm just going to cut him. I know it's a bit silly, but we're going to cut him in half. Part down there. and the other half up here. And trying not to cover up that writing too much either. And you can see I haven't stuck everything down all the way up, just so that they've got a little bit of movement then as well. So then we'll move on to this one, and we'll have him coming from the other side. Oh, I'll start off with the stamp set. Well, I suppose if it's a special occasion, the stamp set's a good place to start, especially if you know that it's going to be a birthday, or in your case, the baptism cards. Again, your starting off point's already determined for you, isn't it? I have to see how long this lasts. I might need to open up another one. So I'm just eyeballing the centre there, just guessing as to where it might be. I do like the white at the base of that though. You know what, we might just go the white and the natural colour on this one. I was going to say, I feel like the glue dots were taking a long time, but this is taking a bit to come out too. There we go. So a good thing if you're sticking things down and you've used the glue, I'll show you in a minute, because what I'll do with this one is I might just stick a block on top of it, just so that gives it a bit of weight and helps it stick down as well. Okay, so with that one there, we might just have things on my blocks. Let's take him off. Just going to pop him up here to the side and just with that block on him. So now to stick these down, obviously you only want the glue on the bottom part of it. And if I just put a little pencil mark at the back, I know about where I'm going. So we're going there, and pop it as central as you can go and as straight. So he goes there. Then I'm going to fold it over so then I can stick my next one down, and I've got the same line to follow at the top there. So let's just a little mark on the back. Yeah, you know what, I'm thinking it won't, but we will see if we can do it with one lot of glue. Okay, so that's our next one down. That's all lined up, just make sure I'm not. And then the next one, we'll have to put the back one on first with that one, so we've still got him there, so that's fine. So the backs I will do, excuse me, a lot plainer. So the backs I might do a little bit of the flicking like we did on the front, and I will use my Dark Lost Lagoon. So that's it for that. And then, because I actually want room on these to write, that one there, and a little bit there. The other thing I wanted to put in here is just a thanks for being you stamp as well. So let me just get that here and line him up a little bit. And this one I will stamp in Pretty Peacock. Make sure we're all inked up, and I'll pop this at the top because I'll have the flower at the bottom. So like I said, this is all now quite flat, because if we have too much height in both the layers, your card will not close very well, and it's going to be quite thick in the envelope anyway. This is probably something I would hand deliver as well, because like I said, it will be, there'll be a bit of thickness to it. Like I said, this is me just using up all my little bits of designer series paper too, so you can see where I've cut them out. I've used everything from the corners and a few of those full bits as well. Never waste anything. And then that one there will go that way. Oops, a little bit that I hadn't cut off properly. Okay. So obviously that centre one you're not going to write on, but the two end ones you can. So if we pop them onto our cloud cover now, no, you're not, it's not going to last. Now I did have another one right here. Now I've got to be careful that I don't squeeze it too much, because it will all go everywhere. Okay, we are on the home stretch now. Thank you for sticking with me. Yeah, sorry, John, it didn't quite work. I could sit there and Shake and shake and shake. So what I usually do with my glues now, that it takes that much effort to get the glue out, I actually cut them in half, and I have good afternoon or good evening, Vicky, how are you? I have an old Wink of Stella that I've put water in, and I use that to get the glue out of the tube after I've cut it. And you will be surprised as to how much glue is still there. Okay, so if we turn this over, I want them to go that way, so I want that one there. So this one I can now glue down. Like I said, we'll just do that little mark so I know where I'm going to. Oh, hi Fiona. I was just saying, we're just on the home stretch now. We're almost at the end of my card. So sorry, I'm just going to move it a bit closer to me so I can see. Yeah, so you can see how thick that is already. You don't want that any thicker than it is, I wouldn't think. So now we can start popping these on as well. So again, just that bottom. Oh, actually, I can pop glue all the way to the top now because I do want it to stick to that other bit. So let's go all the way. Thank you, Angela. Like I said, it is a little different for me, but it's still a style I like. There you go. So as long as they're just meeting up nicely. So you want them to be exactly meeting up because you're going to see both sides of that. Okay, so now we can flip it over. That one's going to go in the middle and that one will go there. And bring it down. Match it up. And last arch. Here we go. So that is what we've ended up with there. So like I said, we did have, I think the bow is going to cover things up a little bit too much. Let me just reach up here. Yeah, I feel like this is a little bit more delicate and isn't going to get in the way of anything too much. And we can still just pop that in behind there. Yeah, I think I like that better. I have a solution for that, Vicky. I don't have one here that I've cut open. I think I've just thrown them all out. I actually cut it so that my top and my bottom still sit into each other. You know what? I found one. So this is how I cut mine. So then, this is all used up now. But because I can pop that inside of there, if I don't use it all in the one go, what's in there, the air doesn't get to it. So I can still use it. Look, I probably couldn't keep it for weeks, but I'm using mine in the next few days anyway. So it does last that long. So basically what I've done is I've cut it in half, but then I've cut a little bit more off this one to make this side a bit smaller. So then it actually sits in nicely. So that works quite well for me, at least. So let us trim that off a little bit. Glue dot to pop that on with. Now I don't know whether we need any embellishments too, because I did have a bit of a choice. I'm just going to stick that glue dot behind. And then just scooch it on under that sentiment so that you can't see the knot. There you go. So the embellishments I had, and not that you'd want embellishments on all of them, I had the Secret Sea, but I feel they're a little bit too modern looking. I did have the pearls, which could look nice. But then I do have these ones here, which are the pressed flower motifs, which might, definitely don't cut the glue until you're ready to use it, definitely. But if you can, like I said, slide that top in, that's probably a good idea. Do you know what? I might still put some embellishments on it, but I might just put them on the front. We won't go in each layer because I just think that might make it a little bit too thick as well. So if we go up under there a little bit, down there. Actually, this colour does look quite pretty with it. We might just sneak one up into there as well. So that is our card, ladies. So just a little bit special, a few more bits and pieces. So happy birthday, you are simply fantastic. And then when you open the back of it up, then you can write on the back, and thanks for being you. So that's it, all done. So sorry, that did take a little bit longer, but like I said, it was just a little bit more involved, that card. And like I said, this, I think I would, if I had have used this, I think I would have cut this in thirds, so it was a finer ribbon, like I had done with some of my cards in the past. And I've, like this one here, where I've just cut it, so it's that's exactly the same ribbon, but it's in the Darling Duckling. So I could have done a similar thing with that as well. Thank you for all your lovely comments. I am going to be doing a class with this suite. We are not doing this card, unfortunately, but there will be 4 other beautiful cards that we're making. My ladies that do my classes did see the cards on Friday night. So if you're interested in that, that is on the 8th of August, and it is $45. Let me know if you would like to take part. Thank you for everyone that has already signed up. There are still a few spaces left. A belly band would be a good idea, because that would actually keep it all together too. And you know what? You could nearly do the bow. No, I'd probably go below. I'm going to say you could nearly do the bow so it mimics that one there. Because you do nearly need, you're almost right, you do nearly need something to keep it closed. So you could do what Jackie was saying, is something similar to this. My bow will not be in the right direction, or it might be. Well, there you go, you could do something like that as well. Just if we scooch that down this way, then it won't get in the way of the sentiment. Oh, that's actually, I don't actually mind that idea. Thank you, Jackie. I'll never be able to tie that bow exactly the same again, so I will just have to scooch that down, won't I? We do have a double bow happening now, but that's okay. I can pull those out. So with or without the bow, you could do it either way. So again, thank you very much. I will have some photos up of that tomorrow, probably later tomorrow, as I still have part of my retreat happening tomorrow. And no live on Thursday, as I won't be around. So again, much appreciated. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next Monday night. Thank you. Bye.